Hey guys, what's up? So we're back and we're still talking about this component stuff, right? These reusable components. And again, this is kind of like tandem, running tandem with the previous lessons. So go back to the other videos if you haven't seen this, because otherwise you're gonna get lost. All right, but we talked about what was how we were able to create these multiple components here. This page title, and then just like reproduce them as many as we want, and then just kind of change things around in it, right? So like for example, let's just actually bring back, let me just Control Z because I already had them there. We won't need that many, we'll just put 2 of them. All right, let's just use these 2 right here, right? And now here's the thing, we're able to change the title to whatever we want, because every page title for every page will have a different name. So that's fine, right? We did this, that's good. We were able to change the name on the button itself, because not every button is going to be used the same way. They're going to be used differently. So one of them is going to say add, the other one is going to say see more, whatever, right? But what about the actual click event of the button? So if we go to the page title component, right, that component itself in there where the button is, we need to add a click event for this button to work. Otherwise it's nothing. You can just click on it all you want and nothing is ever going to happen. So how do you call a click event? Let me go ahead and add this to a new line here so it gets a little bit easier to read. And one more right there. That way it's easier to read. There you go. So is that easy to read? Or is this easier to read? That's alright, right? Doesn't matter. Alright, so how you add a click event to a button in Angular is by using parentheses. Yeah, this means parentheses. And that click event, okay? So this right here is an event call in HTML, in Angular HTML. So you could call it click, you could call it, I think it's double click, that's another thing, but we're gonna call click for this one. And then in here is going to be button click. Let's just call it button click, right? Let's just call it button click, a button btn click function. Now if we hit enter, nothing is gonna really happen. Nothing is gonna really happen because there isn't really an actual button click event or function, so to speak, right? So if I just inspect this, just to kind of have start looking at what we need here, right? Element, okay. So if I look at the button right now, there's really nothing going on there, and if I click on anything here, there's still, you know, nothing, but you'll see some messages and some stuff going up here that's basically saying, hey, nothing happened, something got clicked. Now let's say for example that I went down and I used this button click function, which by the way, I think in Angular you don't have to actually declare, you can just leave it empty as well. If I recall, yeah, you can leave it empty as well, but we'll put them there. All right, so if you go now to the page component, to the page title component itself, down here I can I can declare my button click function, and then just say for example console log, and then just put hello in there for now, right? And hit enter. So that's fine, because now I can just come over here and look at my console, and then from here I can click on my add and it says hello, and I can click on see more and it also said hello again, right? So far that's so good, so far so good, right? So far we know that the button is working, however, here's the problem. Would you want every button to do the exact same thing and the exact same click on every page, for example? Not right. You're going to have this have a different functionality that instead of this one, because this right here is hard coded inside the page title itself with where the button lives. That's why your you're doing that. So what we need to do for this to happen, to be able to create a custom event for each button call, we need to bring in a couple of things here. We need to do what is called an event emitter, right? What it does is that it creates an event and it emits it out into the parent, so that the parent that is absorbing it can use it differently. Now, in order for it to emit out, this is the word, emit out, you need to use the output decorator. So we're gonna bring in output. Okay, that reference, when I did the out thing, I do that to remember things, certain things. See, I know React, I know Angular, I know Vue, vanilla JavaScript. I can do so many different things. Sometimes it's like it's a blessing and it's a curse. Because it's a blessing because after spending some time with it, I know it and I understand it and I can work with it. But it's also a curse, because if I have to switch back and forth between these languages, they kind of get confusing in my head, and I start using Angular stuff in React and React stuff in Angular, and then I wonder why things are not working, and it's because I'm mixing everything. So it is a blessing and it is a disguise, a curse, a blessing and a curse. Right. So anyway, so we're gonna bring in the output decorator in here, and then we're also going to bring the event emitter in there. Right. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here to our declarations, our decorator declarations, and we're gonna create an output, and the output is going to be basically the name of the prop that you're going to use to call the button. So we're gonna call this one button click. That's what you're going to use later. Instead of calling click, you're gonna use this prop. That way Angular knows that you're talking about a specific event, not just a click event. And then this is going to be equal. There is no type scripting here, by the way, because you're not declaring a prop, an internal prop. You're declaring an output event that you're sending out. See? All right. So so the button click is going to be equal to a new event emitter. Okay. And that's going to be a function because it's a method. It's an event emitter method. All right. Now notice that right now it's sending a squiggly line here because it says that it was identified, a duplicate identifier, or whatever it's called, right? So we're gonna call this then a little bit different, because it's just doing that kind of crazy stuff, the double name thing. So let's go back to the page title component here, and let's call it something else. Let's call it on click instead, and let's go back to the page, and let's make sure that we call this one on click. All right. Oh, wait a minute, we're not even using this. What am I doing? Scratch that. We're not even using that yet. I mean, not yet. We're not. Okay, sorry. See, I'm doing it again. I'm confusing myself. I am using the onClick, but I'm not using the onClick as the actual call to the functionality inside the onClick. What I'm using the onClick for is just so I can make it call to the event emitter that I just made. That's what it is. Sorry guys, sorry I'm confusing you. Alright, so now let's back up. We made an output declaration here with the decorator, and we created a button click. That's just a name. That could be any name you want to name it. It could be button click, it could be my click, it could be add click, whatever you want to name it. I created an event, a custom event called button click, which is going to be basically creating an event emitter, a new event emitter for this button, right? Every time it gets called, it's going to be a new event emitter. Now, in the page itself, I created a click event, a regular JavaScript, a regular Angular out of the box click event, so Angular understands that you're going to be clicking this. And then when it clicks this, it's going to call this function. When it calls that function, it comes over here and looks for it, and it finds it, and when it finds it, it's going to do what is in here. Now what's in here is not going to be that, but it's going to be the call for this button click. So when I say this button click, I mean it. This button click, right? By using this right here, it knows that it's talking about the button clicks, the button click event variable, I should say, that is on the very high top of the stack in the DOM, which is going to be the one that we declared. And then we're going to then bring in an emit event in here. And whoops. Yeah, there you go. And hit save. So now it's available to us. This on-click, not this on-click, this button click event is available to us. So now I can come back to the home component here where I'm using my buttons, and I can call my click event, but I'm not going to do this because that's just basically saying you're basically now telling Angular to use a normal regular click event. We want to use the actual custom click event that we created, btn click, and we're gonna tell the btn click, and let's just copy that because we're gonna use it in the bottom as well. We're gonna use it here. Actually, let me go ahead. I think it's Control what was it? No, it doesn't work anymore. There was a shortcut for this, but I guess it doesn't work anymore. So I'm just gonna bring this down here so I can make it a little bit easier to read. So bear with me for a second. There we go. All right, so now this button click right here are going to be different button clicks, and now I can use them as different button clicks because they are, you know, being created separately. So this button click right here is going to say home click, and home click, and this one is going to just be called about click. Yeah, about click. Now if I hit enter, obviously nothing, although it didn't compile. It's because the about click and the home click don't exist yet, right? But I can come to the home component itself now, and then I can create those clicks. One is going to be home click, and the other one is going to be about click. About click, and then in this one I wanted to be a console log home button was clicked, and then copy that, paste it here, and then the about click is going to say about button was clicked. Hit enter. Now it compiles. Let's bring in our thing here, make sure that it's in console, and this already should have refreshed. So if I click the add button, it says home button was clicked, and if I click the see more, it says about button was clicked. So you can see now how it works. So if we backtrack what we did so you can understand it, it all starts here, right at the home page where you're using the button. I'm telling the button, hey, I want you to give me a name of my title to be home because this prop was declared somewhere else already, right? I'm not gonna go over that, that's in the last video. And I want the name of the button to say add because, again, same prop that I declare up here. I'm not up here, so I'm not gonna talk about that. But then when it comes here, it says, okay, I want you to do this button click. Angular's gonna be like, what? Button click? What is that? I don't recall that. I know click, but I don't know button click. What is button click? And what do you want me to do with it? It's like, well, this is what I want you to do with it. I want you to, in this one, to fire this function, and in this one, to fire this function. And it's going to be, and they're going to be basically in here. And I said, okay, but what is exactly button click? Like what is a, well, if you go to the component also, then you'll see it that it's declared there when I call the click event to call for this onClick, and then that onClick, what is it? And then that onClick is the one that is going to be emitting this event for that button click for it to work over there. See that? And that's basically how it works. All right, so that's all I got for now. We'll continue on with this, but just hang tight and I'll see you guys later.